Hello! In this video, we'll learn how to make questions in English. In English, there are 4 types of questions. These are general questions, special questions, alternative questions, and disjunctive questions. Now, we'll use one example per each question type to see the difference among them. And I believe it will be helpful if we use one affirmative sentence such as she lives in London and ask all questions in relation to this sentence to see the difference more clearly. Now let's get started with the questions. A general question for this sentence would be as following: does she live in London? As you can see, when we ask a general question, we are asking about the whole sentence, not a specific part of it. In other words, when we ask a general question, we already have certain information, and by raising the question, we are simply trying to get a yes or no answer. Now, when it comes to special questions, an example to this would be as following: where does she live? As you can see in this sentence, we asked about one specific part of the sentence. In this example, we asked about the location. Where does she live? That means when we ask special questions, we are missing certain information, and by raising the question, we are trying to get that information. Now, when it comes to alternative questions, an example to this would be as following: does she live in London or in Paris? As you can see here too, we are asking about a specific part of the sentence, but we are also giving alternative. In this specific example, we gave alternative between London and Paris. Lastly, an example to disjunctive question would be as following: she lives in London, doesn't she? As you can see, a disjunctive question starts with a statement and then it follows with a question. And the purpose of disjunctive questions is simply either to clarify information or to get a confirmation to an information they already know. Now, in this video, we'll only talk about general questions, and in the following videos, we'll also cover the rest of the question types. On this slide, we'll learn what is the main grammatical formula used for general questions. Now, we always start general questions with an auxiliary verb that comes right before the subject. And if there is a main verb in the sentence, then we add the verb and then follow with the rest of the sentence. Let's see a few examples. She's at home. Is she at home? Katie works twice a week. Does Katie work twice a week? He's listening to music. Is he listening to music? I have finished my work. Have I finished my work? They went to London last week. Did they go to London last week? As you may already know, in English, auxiliary verbs change per tense. In the table below, you will see which auxiliary verb you can use per each tense. Now, if this sentence is in the present indefinite tense form, then you will use as an auxiliary verb do or does, and the main verb in this sentence will be in its root form. If the sentence is in the past indefinite tense form, then as an auxiliary verb you will use did, and the main verb in the sentence will be in its root form. If the sentence is in the future indefinite tense form, then as an auxiliary verb you will use shall or will, and the main verb will be in its root form. If the sentence is in the future in the past tense, then as an auxiliary verb you will use should or would, and the main verb will be in its root form. If the sentence is in the present continuous tense form, then as an auxiliary verb you will use am, is, are, which are the present tense of to be, and the main verb in the sentence will be verb ing. If the sentence is in the past continuous tense form, then as an auxiliary verb you will use was or were, the past tense of to be, and the main verb in the sentence will be verb ing. If the sentence is in the future continuous tense form, as an auxiliary verb, you will use shall or will, and the main verb will be verb ing. If the sentence is in the future in the past continuous tense form, then as an auxiliary verb, you will use should or would, and the main verb would be verb ing. If the sentence is in the present perfect tense, then as an auxiliary verb, you will use have or has, and the main verb will be in its third form. If the sentence is in the past perfect tense, then as an auxiliary verb, you will use had, and the main verb will be in its third form. If the sentence is in the future perfect tense, as the auxiliary verb, you will use shall or will, and the main verb will be have, verb, third form. If the sentence is in the future in the past perfect tense, then as an auxiliary verb, you will use should or would, and the main verb will be have, verb in its third form. Now, if the sentence is in the present perfect continuous tense, then as an auxiliary verb, you will use have or has, but the main verb will be been, verb ing. If the sentence is in past perfect continuous, then the auxiliary verb will be had, and the main verb will be been, verb ing. If the sentence is in the future perfect continuous tense, the auxiliary verb will be shall or will, and the main verb will be have been, verb ing. And if the sentence is in the future in the past perfect continuous, then the auxiliary verb will be should or would, and the main verb will be have been, verb ing. On this slide, let's see how we typically respond to general questions. In the short form, we can either say yes or no. If we want to give a full answer, however, after saying yes or no, we can add the subject and auxiliary verb. For example, is she at home? Yes, she is. No, she isn't. Does Katie work twice a week? Yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Is Tom listening to music? Yes, he is. No, he isn't. Have I finished my work? Yes, I have. No, I haven't. Did they go to London last week? Yes, they did. No, they didn't. Last but not least, to practice more, you can use the sentences you see on the screen to ask general questions. And please feel free to write your questions in the comments section below. I'll try to check them for you whenever I can. Thanks for watching, and please do not forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos to come.